The Xbox and Bethesda deal has been officially approved and is going down. Plus, allegedly, Microsoft says some unannounced Xbox games are coming this year. A big Nintendo Switch console exclusive game gets a release date for the month of July. And finally, Nintendo is celebrating March 10th with some can't miss Mario sales on the eShop and beyond. What's going on, guys? I'm RGT85. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and be sure to like the video. But without any further ado, let's try to kick off this week with a bang, a little bit bigger of a bang than what we saw on AEW last night, and talk about what's going on in the world of video games. So for some reason, there's a notion that I am an anti-Xbox person, which I don't really understand. Maybe I don't talk all that much about Xbox related things on the channel, but it's because Xbox hasn't really been doing much. There's not been a lot of games released for the system that we have gotten. Of course, the Xbox Series X is a system I really enjoy. I've been playing all my third-party games on it, but of course there are no first-party exclusives. Well, Microsoft has been buying up studios left and right to try to bolster their lineup, and of course their biggest acquisition was Bethesda in a $7.5 billion deal to bring Bethesda under the Microsoft umbrella. Well, now this deal between Xbox and Bethesda has been officially approved by the European Commission with no additional conditions have to be met, so this is good to go. This is a done deal at this point in time, and Microsoft and the Xbox brand now own Bethesda. Now, allegedly, there's some sort of event that could be taking place on March 11th with Xbox talking about this deal. I saw Jeff Grubb had it in one of his tweets talking about upcoming gaming events. I'm not sure if this is confirmed or just speculation, but this will be interesting to see how Microsoft handles this acquisition of Bethesda because, well, Bethesda has a lot of games, and these games have always been multi-platform games. Look at some of their franchises like Fallout, Wolfenstein, Doom, Skyrim. Like, these are big games, and obviously if these are now exclusive to the Microsoft brand, that's going to be a very big deal. Now, some people feel that these games won't necessarily be exclusive, at least some of them are concerned because of how Microsoft kind of does business. When you look at how Microsoft and the Nintendo Switch are working together with games like, of course, Ori and the Blind Forest being available on the Nintendo Switch, there is that sort of doubt because Microsoft seems to play better with others than the other two companies such as Sony and Nintendo do. But I think it will be very interesting. My philosophy is if a game is already in development, it's probably not going to be an Xbox exclusive. I guess the next big Bethesda game that we're looking forward to is Starfield, and a lot of people are wondering if that game is going to be exclusive to the Xbox consoles. It's going to be a very interesting approach because Microsoft obviously wants people to at least play their games, but they don't really seem to care where they play their games. So will they give reason for consumers to want to buy an Xbox Series X on day one when these games are available? So it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, these games are also going to be available on Game Pass as well, which I think is going to be very good for my wallet because I do enjoy Bethesda games. Sure, their quality has been a little bit lacking with some of their more recent releases, but I think Bethesda at the end of the day is a good company, and this could be a very positive thing for both Xbox and Bethesda. But speaking of Xbox, it seems like there are more unannounced first-party titles that are actually releasing this year. So this is coming to us from the Director of Program Management for Xbox, Jason Ronald, who says that Xbox has unannounced games coming this year. So what these games are going to actually be, I guess your guess is as good as mine. A lot of people seem to think that these will be smaller games, but when you look at what Nintendo has been doing with a lot of their recent releases, announcing the game and then releasing it 3 months later, I think Microsoft might be trying to take a cue from that to bolster its 2021 lineup, which, I mean, let's be real, outside of Flight Simulator, which is supposed to come out this summer, and of course a game like Halo Infinite, which is allegedly a holiday game, we don't really have all that much stuff. Like, sure, yeah, there's stuff like Grounded and stuff that already came out on the Xbox One and sort of this alpha build thing. Like, I just hope it's not games as a service stuff. I don't mind games as a service. I don't hate it like a lot of people do, or a free-to-play game or anything like that. I just think Microsoft needs to have these single-player experiences that make systems sell, that make consoles sell, and of course that make games sell. Look at the Xbox One. It had games like Quantum Break, Sunset Overdrive, Rise. When you look at the PlayStation 4, what were the best-selling games? The Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, God of War, Nintendo with Mario Odyssey, and of course Zelda, the Breath of the Wild. It's like people like single player experiences, so it's going to be very interesting. I think Microsoft has been very quiet this year, but maybe there's been a reason for their quietness, or maybe it'll just be another sort of deflating year for Xbox diehards. Let me know in the comment section down below though what you think of this Bethesda merger. Do you think it's going to impact these games coming to other systems, and what games do you think Microsoft could be releasing this year for the Xbox Series X? Next up, Monster Hunter had a big event this morning with some interesting announcements coming out of it. Monster Hunter Rise is of course coming out on the Nintendo Switch later on this month. I honestly cannot wait for this game, but if you want a little bit more and you've already played that demo a million times that came out, guess what? There is a second demo coming out for Monster Hunter Rise. Now, this second demo for Monster Hunter Rise will allow players to fight against Magnemolus in the demo, which is a very hard creature in the Monster Hunter universe, and it's supposedly a more refined version of the original demo. Now, there is still that sort of, you only get 30 tries to play it or whatever, but I mean, I don't really think many people are going to play it beyond that. The game is very close to releasing, and it's obviously going to be a big Nintendo Switch game. But the last time we talked about Monster Hunter during a Monster Hunter Direct, we of course got the announcement of Monster Hunter Stories 2 coming to the Nintendo Switch. Supposedly it was going to be a summer game. This is a console exclusive. I believe it's also launching on Steam as well, and Monster Hunter Rise is actually coming out on Steam next year, but there's that year gap. I think this is a day-in release for Monster Hunter Stories 2, but now we have a release date of July 9th for this game. So we're already bolstering this Nintendo Switch exclusive lineup. Like, there's so many exclusive games coming to the Nintendo Switch between now and of course August that we already know about, and Monster Hunter Stories 2 is yet another game in that. Now, if you never played the original Monster Hunter Stories, I don't blame you. Like, it came out on the 3DS after the Nintendo Switch released. Many people just sort of threw their 3DS to the side and did not play their Switch, but Monster Hunter Stories 2 was actually a really interesting game because it's not a traditional Monster Hunter style game. It's more of like a Pokemon RPG game taking place within the Monster Hunter universe. I'm trying to show you guys clips here of the Monster Hunter 2 trailer, but Capcom just sucks ass and they will copyright claim if you use a full trailer for them. I don't know why they do that. It's just what they do, I guess. You know, don't promote our games. Don't tell people about our games. But Monster Hunter Rise is definitely sort of a hidden gem, I feel, on the Nintendo 3DS. So I'm actually looking forward to Monster Hunter Rise 2. Obviously, Capcom is a great working relationship right now with Nintendo. Hopefully they can extend that in the future. Maybe that Resident Evil Revelations 3 leak, maybe we'll get some information about that. Designed with the Switch in mind, RE Engine. Come on, Capcom, give it to me. But obviously, this is another big release for Nintendo Switch owners with Monster Hunter Rise 2 coming out on July 9th. And finally, it's almost March 10th. And evidently that's a celebration, because if you abbreviate it, you get the word March, and it's Mar, and then the number 10, and it kind of looks like Mario. And so Nintendo always celebrates this as Mario Day. Now, I have some Mario milk in my refrigerator. If you are big into the Mario universe and you want something exclusive, I will sell you this Mario milk for just $500. Just hit me up on PayPal. I will send it to you. I probably wouldn't drink it by the time you get it because it'll be past the Mario date, but it's a great collectible. But obviously, Nintendo is going to do some sales for Mario related games, and right now on the Nintendo Switch eShop between now and the end of the day on March 13th, you can get 4 Mario related games that are on sale from Nintendo. You can get Super Mario Party, you can get Super Mario Maker 2, Mario Tennis Aces, and Luigi's Mansion 3, all available for $38.99. Now, that's probably what Super Mario Party should have came out at because of the crappy online play. I just didn't really like that game, but the real gem out of this has to be Luigi's Mansion 3 for me. I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is one of the top 5 Nintendo Switch games in terms of quality, visual, aesthetic, just everything about this game really screamed AAA to me. A great game, a game that I highly recommend. Of course, there is online play in this game as well. If you're sort of on the fence about it, I made a review when it first came out. Make sure you guys go check that out. But that's sort of the gem of this. I think Mario Tennis Aces has a lot of value now too. When it originally came out, it was sort of a barren wasteland. You know, there wasn't all the characters in it and whatnot, but over time they've added a bunch of characters into it. So I think that's really cool. And like I said, all of these games are available for $38.99. But RGT, you're such a clickbait piece of shit. There's a picture of Mario Odyssey sort of blurred out in the background, and Mario Odyssey isn't on the list. I'm not done talking yet, because in the intro, I said in the eShop and beyond. And now we're getting into the beyond section, because many retailers are doing Mario related sales right now. You can get games available at Best Buy and Target for this same price of $38.99, these 4 games that we just mentioned. However, there is one company that is actually doing an additional game, and that company is a company you might have heard of before called Amazon. And if you head on over to Amazon, all these games are actually only $38.88, meaning you save 11 cents. I mean, you know, they could add up. You know, save a couple of those and you can get a Burger King burger. I think they got $1 bacon cheeseburger right now, so that's pretty cool. But one of the games that is included, that is not included in the Nintendo Switch eShop sale, is Super Mario Odyssey, available for $38.88. Now, if you don't already own Super Mario Odyssey, I want to shake you, because this is literally one of the best Mario games. I would put it right up there with Super Mario 64 as my favorite Mario game of all time. Just a fantastic game. Of course, it features my favorite level, like I say every time, New Donk City. Give me a full New Donk City game. Open world, Mario GTA style in New Donk City. I guess you can't have the hookers and gunplay and stuff like that, but you could do something with it. But yes, Super Mario Odyssey is available from Amazon for just $38.88. So if you haven't picked up this game yet, this is probably the cheapest it's ever going to be, so I highly recommend you guys go check it out. Alright, so that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Before we wrap things up, I want to ramble about two things very briefly. AEW Revolution last night, definitely enjoyed the show. Seeing Ethan Page and Christian come into the fold was very cool, but that explosion at the end, man, like they're trying to work it into a storyline now that Kenny Omega is an idiot, but I don't know, you could have done something a little bit more. It is nice to see Eddie Kingston, aka my brother from another mother, come out there and protect Moxley. I guess he's going to be a face now. Very cool stuff. Hopefully we get some Omega and Kingston interaction. You know, I think a match between them would be really fun. And Obi Toppin got absolutely ripped off during All-Star Weekend during the dunk contest. That Anthony dude, the dunk he did sucked. He was supposed to simulate kissing the rim, but he didn't kiss the rim. So what the hell is the point of the dunk? It was an in-game dunk where he was like, oh look, my head could kiss the rim, but I'm not going to. And at least Obi Toppin did a dunk that you wouldn't really see in a game normally. So that was absolutely ridiculous. NBA All-Star Weekend sucks now. What happened to just East versus West? The best players from the East versus the best players from the West. Now it's like, oh, I want to play with my friends. I'm going to pick like a schoolyard game. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And as always, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.